Shining, but look quick. It might be rain. I drove through some hail today. How many of you had hail today? We had quite a bit of hail. So anyway, it's springtime in Ohio. Good to have you tonight. This is our spring homeschool recital, and it's a wonderful privilege to be able to welcome each one of you. Thank you for the attendance tonight. Our young people, your young people, have worked hard, and I'm excited to hear what they have tonight. You have a little program. Did anybody not receive a program? We will put one in your hands. Put your hand up there. Need a couple. Do I have a couple gentlemen that can run and get those real quick? Thank you. I didn't say young, so that's great. Thank you, Brother Phil. And keep your hand up if you need one, because we have an able young man who's coming down the aisle, and he'll put one in your hand there. Yeah, don't. All right. So for many of you, anybody else? Keep your hand up there. All right, good. Many of you may be unfamiliar, but here at Broadview Heights Baptist Church, we, for many years, have had a homeschool ministry. Now, you may think, a ministry, what does that mean? Well, it means just simply an outreach of our church to be able to equip and help parents in the role of training children at home. And I'm thankful for that. Part of that includes these recitals that we hold twice a year to give opportunity for the kids to be able to express and perform things they've been learning. Some of it is testing and providing that service for parents. Some of it is homeschool field trips that we go on periodically, and other things, just general knowledge. And I want to just publicly thank the Perkins for their many years of ministry in this way. They have a real heart for this, and God's really equipped them with great knowledge and research. And I appreciate their support in that. And I just want to confirm that this evening and say I appreciate all that they do. Many times that goes unrecognized. And so tonight, right after we pray, I'll turn it over to Mr. Perkins, and he will kind of MC us through this evening. And there's a little bit of a rhythm, kind of a pattern we need to go by. So he'll tell us about all that. But let me just encourage you in this. Sometimes we tend to treat some things like this as informal. And we don't give the attention that is due the work that's going on here. And so I just want to encourage you, and most of the time it's not the adults, sometimes it's the kids who are performing that are moving around. Try to be very respectful of people who are performing. It's a good thing. And that means if someone's performing up here, whether they're talking or playing or whatever they're doing, try to refrain from moving in and out of your seat. And of course, if you have a young child and they're disturbing, whatever, which is acceptable, just you can take them out the back there and listen. But we want to try to keep it as calm and quiet as we can while the performances are going on. And so I just want to mention that. I believe it's something that we can do. And when you're not performing, I encourage you to come back in and listen and be a part of what's going on there. And that'll be a blessing. Thank you for coming tonight. Let's bow in a word of prayer and ask the Lord's blessing tonight. Lord, it's a privilege to be able to watch the young people perform tonight. These areas, many of them have worked hard in specific areas, whether it be music or presentations. And I pray that you would just honor yourself. Thank you for their talent. Thank you for their abilities. We pray that you would just continue to sharpen them as they develop into adults. And pray that this might be a good stepping stone for that. Thank you for parents, Lord, who value the education of their children and take it seriously. Lord, it's not a light thing, it's not an easy thing, but it is an important thing. And I pray that you would honor that effort and that, Lord, that sacrifice that's being made. So bless this evening, Lord. May it all point to the Lord Jesus and His grace and goodness to us. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen. Mr. Perkins.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. All right, kids, who's nervous tonight? Raise your hand if you're nervous. Okay, you got a couple of kids who aren't nervous, and that's one of the reasons why you're here, okay, is to get used to that kind of nervous feeling and be able to work through it. Kids, one of you at least will make a mistake tonight, maybe even more than one, and that's fine. We're here, we're all your friends, okay, and we're here to encourage you, and so just want to keep that in mind. And for everybody else, this is not a regular church service, so after a child performs, it's fine to applaud. As a matter of fact, I'd encourage you to be an encouragement to them. As we get started, I think most of the kids have been involved before. And, when hopefully you've got a program, and when it's the person before you is going, your job is to go out the back and be ready at the door over by the sound room to come in. When you're done, you can just go right back to your seat. Okay, so I'm going to get us started here because we've got a full program tonight, and so that's good to see. We've been doing this for over 20 years, twice a year, so this is our 40-something consecutive recital. So, thank you again for being here. So Noah and Hope are going to come on out. I hope here. And probably the microphone needs to come a little lower. Come on out, Noah and Hope. And they're going to get us started. We start them young, and it'll be a little shorter at the start and a little longer pieces as we go on. And yes, Mrs. Mazzola reminds me, if you're a parent and you want to come prompt your children, come on up. The seats here in the front are open. I encourage you to do that. Go ahead, kids.
Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose.
All right. It's a big step when you're that size to go get up on that platform. Atira Lusovi is going to come and recite Genesis 1:1. So, Tira, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Genesis 1:1.
All right. All right. She was ready to go, wasn't she? Couldn't hold her back here. All right. Luke and Jared are going to come out with violins. I'm hoping as they come on out. Come on out, guys. And they're going to do a little duet called Song of the Wind. And thanks to Ethan for helping out. You have to adjust that microphone practice. Our kids come in all different sizes, so we'll be adjusting that about 25 times tonight. Go ahead, gentlemen. All right, thank you, gentlemen. All right, so these are these coveted early spots in the program so the kids can get it done and over with and go sit down and then laugh at everybody else. Okay, so Isaiah, if you're ready, can you come on out? I think we'll probably need a microphone adjustment again. Ethan will get he's counting his steps tonight. All right, Isaiah, when you're ready, go ahead.
Light of the World by Louise Bone Evie. The sun is like a golden lamp that shines so wide and tall. No one can turn it off and on or blow it out at all. High in the sky it keeps me warm, as strange as this may be. 1,000 sunshine vitamins slip right inside of me. But God sent forth a greater light that blinded eyes might see. He sent his sun to my dark heart, oh may he shine through me.
All right. Thank you, Isaiah. Sephora Lazovi's going to come out now and play the piano for us. We don't need to adjust the microphone on this one. All right. So, Sephora, whenever you're ready, go ahead. All right, thank you, Sephora and company. All right, an unintended duet. All right. All right, Hope Noah and Jed Mazzola are going to come on out and give us a song, Oh, Who Can Make a Flower?
Oh, who can make a flower? I'm sure I can you? Oh, who can make a flower? No one but God, 'tis true. Oh, who can make a raindrop? I'm sure I can you? Oh, who can make a raindrop? No one but God, 'tis true. Oh, who can make the sunshine? I'm sure I can you? Oh, who can make the sunshine? No one but God, 'tis true. Oh, who can make our hearts clean? No, I'm sure I can you? Oh, who can make our hearts clean? No one but God, 'tis true.
All right. All right, thank you, kids, and we appreciate that. Why don't you bring up the chairs, guys, and the music stand. William, go get your clarinet. I'm going to play along. By the way, parents, you're allowed to participate with your children if you feel so inclined. So I'm going to give that a chance here, right here, as we get set. The glasses. I could see the music. Not yet, William. Ready? All right. Thanks, William. Good job. All right, Elizabeth is going to come out and play for us a couple of songs on the piano. And looking forward to it, Elizabeth. Go ahead when you're ready. Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for that. All right, we're going to bring out one of our young men here to play on the violin. And they have a couple pieces they're going to do as soon as we're all set up here. So, gentlemen, as soon as you're ready, why don't you come on out? We'll have Isaiah, Luke, Jared, and Aiden. With a little help from Maki. All right, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. It's a pretty tough-looking group of violinists, huh? All right, anyway. Sephora's going to come back for us now, and she's going to recite Psalm 100. Lower the microphone again. There you go. Sephora, whenever you're ready.
Psalm 100. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture. Come before his presence with singing, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations. Psalm 100.
All right, thank you, Sephora. All right. Tatiana is going to come out and play on the piano, Only Trust Him. So, Tanya, whenever you're ready. All right, thank you, Tanya. Ethan, are you ready? Now, who gets to move the mic for Ethan? That's the question.
Myself.
Okay. All right. All right, whenever you're ready. Thank you very much, Ethan. We'll go back to his more familiar role of microphone mover. Okay, and we will need you, Ethan, for Elizabeth and Sephora to come on out, and they're going to sing.
Alas, and did my Savior bleed, and did my Sovereign die? Would he devote that sacred head for such a worm as I? At the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight, and now I am happy all the day. Was it for crimes that I have done? He groaned upon the tree.
I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight, and now I am happy all the day. But drops of grief can never repay the debt of love I owe. Here, Lord, I give myself away. 'Tis all that I can do. At the cross, where I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight, and now I am happy all the day. It was there by faith I received my sight, and now I am happy all the day.
All right, thank you very, very much for that, girls. All right, William, you ready? Come on out. And he's going to play Have You Any Room for Jesus on the piano. All right, thank you, William. We're going to ask Elizabeth if she'll come back again. And she's going to recite Psalm 23. I think we might be good on the microphone. Okay. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. All right, Miyuki is going to come out now. All right, and play a couple of songs on the piano for us. And Miyuki, whenever you're ready, go ahead. thank you, Miyuki. And now Elena is going to come out. And she's going to play our new piano here for us with Son of My Soul. All right, thank you, Elena. All right, we're going to bring Elizabeth back one more time, Elizabeth, for a recitation, Baby Seeds.
In a milkweed cradle, snug and warm, baby seeds are hiding safe from harm. Open wide the cradle, hold it high. Come, Mr. Wind, help them fly.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. Miyuki, are you ready? And she's going to do a recitation, definitely the little bit lower microphone for Ethan. All right. Go ahead, Miyuki.
We have a secret, just we three, the robin and I and the sweet cherry tree. The bird told the tree and the tree told me, and nobody knows it but just we three. But of course the robin knows best, because he built up. I shall tell it every minute. But if the robin and the tree don't peep, I'll try my best the secret to keep. Though I know when the little birds fly about, the whole secret will be out.
All right, thank you, Miyuki. Annie, you're going to come out and play the piano for us with a waltz by Brahms. All right, thank you, Anne. All right, Elena and Annalie are going to come out and lighten things up with a little talk about national defense. International peace and cooperation. All right. All right, whenever you're set. All right, go ahead, Anna.
Oh, Elena, come here. I have been reading the most amazing stuff about NATO recently. Do you want to hear about it?
You know,
I know, it's awesome, but it's so good.
You know, I just took a test.
Well, actually, that's great, but I really want to tell you the stuff about NATO, so do you want to listen?
Well, I guess.
Okay, did you know that NATO stands for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization?
Really?
NATO was founded on April 4th, 1949 by the U.S., Canada, and several other European nations to provide collective security against the Soviet Union. It was also the first peacetime military alliance the United States entered into outside of the Western Hemisphere. After World War II, NATO was founded to promote peace with its members and protect them from the threat of Russian aggression.
You don't say.
The headquarters for NATO is in Brussels, Belgium. NATO currently has 30 members, including all of North America, most of Europe, and the Baltic states. NATO is run by the Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, who also was the former Prime Minister of Norway.
You don't say.
Members of NATO must be committed to resolving disputes and preventing wars and conflicts. They also at times may be called on to provide military action. This organization has been involved in the Russian War, the Bosnian War, the 9/11 attacks, and many other conflicts and efforts.
That's so cool.
And I bet you didn't know that Iceland is the only member of NATO that doesn't have its own military forces.
That's amazing.
I know it's crazy, but they do have a permanent integrated military command structure made up of both military and civilian personnel.
Wait, I think
I know. I have loved learning about NATO.
That's so cool. Yeah, I can tell.
Elena, I graded your paper, your test. You got 100 on it.
Oh, this whole time you've been trying to tell me about this test. Oh, so what was it about?
Oh, well, it's not really
No,
important.
really, what was it about?
Well, it was on NATO.
You knew all these facts all along?
Sorry, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. You can have my sticker, though.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
All right, let the team get up here. Two at once. That wasn't even in the program. Okay. All right. All right. You can see some deep planning going on over in the corner. All right, Grace. Why don't you come on out?
Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Why do they put these pews so close together? I have to step over everyone's knees and I always end up stepping on their toes. It's embarrassing, especially when they scream. Finally, an empty seat. Oh, I'm so sorry, lady. I didn't see you sitting there. It's not my fault she blends in with the upholstery. Is this seat taken? It isn't? Good. What's that? I am? Your purse, huh? Oh, here it is. Excuse me for saying so, but that's the strangest looking purse I've ever seen. Oh, you say it didn't look like that until I sat on it? Well, maybe you'll start a new trend. Why me? Of all the places I could have picked to sit down, I had to choose a seat behind Minnie Pearl. Just look at that hat. The only thing missing is the price tag. No, wait a minute. There it is. Half price, too. Figures. You couldn't have sold anything that looks as ridiculous as that for full price. Just look at the size of that thing. It looks like her head went condo. I bet she has to pay property taxes on that thing. Well, one thing's for sure. I certainly won't be able to get anything out of the sermon today. I mean, how can I concentrate on what the preacher has to say when I'm stuck here with the Mad Hatter's apartment complex in front of me? It's a shame, too. I understand the sermon's going to be about on how we shouldn't let little things bother us. It's probably going to be a great sermon, but I won't be able to enjoy it. Not now, anyways. After all, how can I get anything out of his sermon on how not to let little things bother me when I'm stuck here in a crowded pew with the Eiffel Tower of headgear in front of me? I guess I could ask her to take it off, but knowing my luck, she's probably bald. I could sit on a stack of hymnals, but I get dizzy at high altitudes. I can move to a different seat, but I don't think the guy on the end wants to see me again. At least not until the swelling in his toes goes down. I'm afraid there's no escape. I'm stuck. No, wait a minute. I can see now. Yeah, this is great. If she'll just keep her head tilted that way, I can see perfectly. Only now he's starting to talk about people who only think of themselves. What happened to not letting little things bother us? That's what he's supposed to be preaching on. Why is he talking about self-centered Christians? And why is he looking this way? If only the lady in front of me would move her head the way it was, he couldn't see me. Oh, come on, lady. Move over just a little bit. That's right. Perfect. He can't see me. Now, if she'll just keep her head that way for the rest of the sermon, I'll have it made. Psst, I love your hat, but next time, buy a bigger one.
All right, well, Leah's going to follow that up, and I'm dying to see if these two monologues are connected in any way. But I don't think so. But I put them back to back just to see if we can come up with any connection here. So, all right. Leah, whenever you're ready.
There are a lot of things my mom does throughout the day. I would like to tell you about them by all the different hats my mom has to put on. I would like to sum up motherhood in one simple word. Hats. Hats, you may say? Yes, hats. Allow me to explain by describing a typical day in the life of my mom. As I come down the stairs, I hear one of the kids say, "Mom, what's for breakfast?" So as a mom, I put on my breakfast making hat. And I say, "You can have cereal, a banana with peanut butter and chocolate chips, or a cereal bar." "I want a pancake," says the little one. "I'll see what I can do." After breakfast, it's school time. So I trade in my breakfast hat for my graduation hat. I'm already graduated, but I'm helping my kids do the same. Since we're homeschooled, I have the kids sit at the kitchen table and I start to teach. "Leah, here's what you need to read today. Grace, here are the math problems you need to do. And here are your spelling words." School takes a while, but then it's lunch. I make a gourmet meal of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and raw carrot sticks. After lunch, it's the kids' nap time. That's when I put my cleaning hat on. So I start to scrub the floor, wash the windows, and vacuum the rug. I still have some spare time to wash the laundry, sweep and mop the floor, and do some dishes. Today is also the day we go shopping.
getting all 7 children in the van, we head out for the shore. The kids are laughing, singing, and sometimes crying. Sometimes I have to wear earplugs and a hat. We get our groceries and head back home. When the kids pile out of the van, Peter accidentally slams the door on John's finger. I get my nurse's hat and a box of Band-Aids, and a few minutes later, John is playing with his slippings again. Time for the chef set again. Dinner is macaroni and cheese with little pieces of hot dog in it. Dad comes home. He wears a few hats himself. After dinner, it's bath time. I put on my shower cap and start scrubbing the little ones. Wash behind your ears. Make sure you get all the soap out of your hair. I get the tubs out of the I get the kids out of the tub, dry them off, brush their teeth, and get them in bed. After a long day and wearing many hats, I'm a little tuckered out myself. I get my nightcap on and kiss my husband goodnight, and I'm asleep in a matter of seconds. Whew, that was a long day. I am thankful for my mom and all that she does, and the many hats she is willing to wear. I love my mom.
See, now we know why Grace is so fixated on hats. Okay. All right, as we clear things off the platform here, I think they're good to go. Mayumi, why don't you come on out? She's going to do a couple of piano pieces for us. Looks like by memory. Either that or she forgot her music. So, all right, whenever you're ready, go ahead. have a little change in our program. Nathan is next, but he is going to actually do a trumpet solo. So Send I You by Peterson. And Abby, are you accompanying? As far as I can remember, my daughter Abby was in the very first recital, and she's still here. All right, she's a little bit of a slow learner, but we're working on it. All right. So.
I don't think I need that. Before I begin, I would encourage you to look at the words of the song. It's number 373 in your hymnals. Anything to keep you from paying attention to what's coming out of my trumpet. I was looking through the hymnal, and the words of this song struck me as very powerful. The reason that God has called us to work for Him. So as I play, I would encourage you to pay attention to the words. Last time, if you're here for the last recital, you know it went a lot worse than this, so I'm just glad it went this good so far.
Thank you, Nathan, taking it with a sense of humor. So, all right, Mika is next. I think it's all clear. Don't run into Ethan. He's got purpose there, so stay out of his way. All right, Mika, we have a sonatina by Clementi. Thank you very much, Mika. Tanya and William, why don't you come on out, and your crew here to set up. All right. All right, whenever you're ready.
Tanya, I have a great idea for a skit for the recital. It has 3 parts. You, me, and we have to have Pastor Royalty for the 3rd part.
But the recital is next week. If we're going to get this done, we'll have to show it to Pastor after tonight's service and get him to agree. And we leave for church in 1 hour.
No problem. I have the whole thing in my head. I could just dictate it. Then you could type on your laptop. Then we could print off a copy before we leave.
All right, let's get started.
Okay, it starts with you and me dressed up as park rangers and Pastor dressed up as a water buffalo.
Wait a minute, my battery just died. Oh no, the power cord is in AJ's case, which is in his car, and he goes straight to church from work.
We're sunk.
Wait a minute. I think I have another solution to get this done. Let me look over here.
What is that thing?
Grandma Perkins's laptop. Sort of. An old-fashioned manual typewriter.
Where'd you plug it in?
You don't. No electricity, no battery cords, no computer chips. It's completely mechanical.
Wow! This thing must have been from ancient Rome or something.
Well, not quite so long ago. This one was made in 1952.
Like I said, ancient history. Where did you get this one? Ah, I see it must have belonged to the royalties. Their name is right on the front.
Not royalty, the Royal. The Royal Typewriter Company. They've been making typewriters for almost 120 years. You can still get a brand new typewriter online from Amazon. And they're still commonly used in places without reliable electricity.
Did the Royal Company invent these things?
No. The modern typewriter has been around since the 1870s, with early versions going as far back as 1575.
Well, back to our skit. Are you ready?
Wait a minute. Let me put him in a piece of paper and like so.
Wait a minute. I just thought something. We are going to need 2 or 3 copies of this thing. You will have to type it out several times, and we don't have enough time to get done.
Oh, but there's a solution for that. It is called carbon paper. When you want more than 1 copy of something, you put a piece of carbon paper in between each following sheet of paper. When the key strikes, it will strike onto each following sheet.
Okay, now back to our skit. You and I will walk out to the platform with a fishing pole, a dictionary, and a bunny of squash as Pastor the Water Buffalo grazes casually by the organ.
Rats!
What happened? Did you break it?
No, the way the typewriter works, each key has the same destination to go to. So if two or more keys strike at the same place, they jam together, like what just happened to me.
So, did you break it?
No, you just need to reach them from the top and pull them back together. They go back to their resting position. But you do tend to get a little ink on your fingers if this happens too often.
Sounds pretty clumsy. I guess they didn't sell very many of these things.
Actually, the Royal Typewriter Company produced 1 million typewriters in their first 20 years. And by their 50th year in business, they had produced over 10 million. And they were just one of several major companies, including Remington, Underwood, Smith Corona, Imperial, and Olivetti.
Well, they still seem kind of fragile, with those letters on those thin metal keys.
Actually, the Royal Company bought an airplane in 1927 and used it to deliver their typewriters by dropping them in crates by parachutes. Out of the 11,000 that were sold this way, only 10 were damaged.
Wow, these things are pretty special. Maybe we should do a skit about typewriters instead.
Sounds like a good idea. Do you still think we can work in the part about a pastor as a water buffalo?
Absolutely.
We took some liberties there, but okay. All right, where are we here? Okay, Kengo, this is the platform is cleared here. He might probably need the chair. So, Kengo, whenever you've got room to get through, come on out, and we'll do suite number 1, the Prelude by Bach, unaccompanied cello solo. All right, Ethan's trying to figure out where do you put the mic for this. Okay, go ahead, Kengo. Thank you very much, Kengo. Slight program change in the next one. It'll just be Meg and Maki, a little error in our program there, with Cherry Blossoms in D.C., A Token of Friendship. All right. right, we are going to trust the technology one more time. All right. All right, go ahead, Maki.
I'm sure we have all heard of the beautiful cherry trees in Washington, D.C. But have you ever wondered where they all came from? Well, it all began with a 29-year-old traveler, writer, and diplomat, Miss Eliza Scidmore. In 1886, she visited Japan and there experienced the beauty of the cherry trees. In her own words, the cherry tree is the most ideally, wonderfully beautiful tree that nature has to show. Upon her return to Washington, D.C., she began to promote the idea of planting cherry trees in Potomac Park. This land has recently been reclaimed for the Potomac River, and the landscaping was still up for grabs. Over the next 24 years, Ms. Scidmore approached every new superintendent of the public buildings and grounds to propose the new idea of Japanese cherry trees in Washington, D.C. But she was consistently met with rebuttals and lame excuses. Thankfully, she was not without allies. One of them was a botanist by the name of Dr. David Fairchild. In 1906, he performed a series of experiments with cherry trees to observe whether they would thrive in the D.C. area. The experiment was a huge success, and to increase their popularity, he decided to supply them to children all over the D.C. school district to plant in celebration for Arbor Day. In his closing remarks for the Arbor Day celebration, he expressed an appeal to plant cherry trees in Washington, D.C., much to the joy of Eliza Scidmore, who was present that day. At the same time, First Lady Helen Taft was making plans to beautify the area. She had visited Japan before, and when Eliza Scidmore sent her letter requesting her approval of the trees and assistance in acquiring them, she was more than happy to reply by saying, "I have taken the matter up and am promised the trees." While all this was happening, a famous New York chemist by the name of Jokichi Takamine was visiting Washington. He was born and raised in Japan and was an advocate for strengthening U.S.-Japanese relations. He thought that cherry trees could be a bridge between the two nations. After hearing of Mrs. Taft's plan to plant cherry trees in Washington, D.C., he quickly volunteered to donate 2,000 cherry trees for the project. Not wanting to bring all the attention to himself, he agreed to do it in the name of the city of Tokyo. The Tokyo mayor at the time was Mayor Yukio Ozaki, who readily agreed to help donate 2,000 cherry trees. By January 6, 1910, the cherry trees had arrived in Washington, D.C. Unfortunately, upon inspection of the trees, it was found that insects, nematodes, and disease had ruined the trees. To prevent the problem from spreading to other trees in the area, President Taft ordered them to be burned. Thankfully, both sides handled the situation with grace and understanding, and the mayor of Tokyo immediately organized another donation of 3,020 cherry trees. Along with the second shipment of cherry trees came a thoughtful letter from the mayoress of Tokyo that captures the vision for the cherry trees. A portion of it reads, "My husband shipped off 3,000 cherry trees, which he hopes will form an avenue in Washington as a memorial of national friendship between the U.S. and Japan." Now, the history of the cherry trees in D.C. would not be complete without covering the infamous Cherry Tree Rebellion. On November 17, 1938, the day construction began on the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, 50 women marched to the White House. They were armed with a petition to stop the damage to the trees that would be caused by the construction. The following day, the women went as far as to chain themselves to a tree at the construction site, with hopes to stop the work. To their dismay, President Roosevelt responded by saying, "If anyone wants to chain herself to the trees, and the tree is in the way, we will move the tree and the lady and the chains and transplant them to some other place." Thankfully, the ladies backed off after a compromise was reached and their message was given. Year after year, through times of war and times of friendship, the Japanese cherry blossoms continue to bloom. What a wonderful reminder of our unchanging and faithful God.
All right, next up is Rory with the Vivaldi Variations by Christy. And yeah, Rory, why don't you put up the screen? And whenever you're ready, Rory, go ahead. All right. Thank you, Rory. Suddenly the piano looks smaller than it did before. All right. We have a presentation coming up with Mkango, Mika, Mayumi, and Miyuki. So come on out and the Assateague Wild Ponies. Take it you did not bring a pony with you, did you? Okay.
Hey guys, have you ever heard of the book Misty of Chincoteague?
No, what kind of story is it? I think I know. It's a book about these wild horses that live in an island called Chincoteague.
Chincoteague? Wild ponies?
We're going to wait. We just replace those with the next one and then put this back up in the meantime.
Oh, they need this? Okay.
So we'll just replace it.
All right, why don't you step down here for a minute? All right. From Assateague, we will go to a country garden in a moment. And now we go to a commercial break. question is it centered?
Would you turn it on real quick so I can check and see if it's centered?
Here we go. I'd say it's close enough for now. Proving once again, you'll never know what you'll see at a homeschool recital. There's a first time for everything. Okay. Kids, come on back. I think you might as well start at the beginning, huh?
Hey guys, have you ever read Misty of Chincoteague?
No, what kind of story is it? I think I know. It's about these wild ponies that live on an island called Chincoteague.
Wild ponies? Chincoteague? Where is that?
I think it's in Virginia, but I've always wanted to see wild ponies myself, too.
Can we go to
Chinties? Something like that.
Hey, that's a good idea. Let's go.
Last week we went to Assateague State Park. We were able to see several wild ponies. The Chincoteague pony, also known as the Assateague horse, was made famous by the children's series book Misty of Chincoteague, written by Margaret Henry in 1947.
Chincoteague, although popularly known as Chincoteague ponies, some of them actually live on Assateague Island. This island is a 37-mile-long barrier island and is located off the eastern coast of Virginia and Maryland.
Assateague is a harsh environment for the ponies, and their diet is very limited. Over the hundreds of years they have lived on Assateague, they have adjusted to this limited diet. They primarily eat the salt-water cord grass that grows in the marshes of Assateague. They have to eat almost all day just to get enough nutrition for them. The salt content of the cord grass is very high. To compensate for this salt, they have to drink twice as much water as a normal horse every day. This is why they appear to be so bloated.
The ponies look so beautiful and friendly, but they are wild and can be aggressive. Park rangers and earth visitors are not to pet or feed the wild ponies. People have gotten seriously injured because they came too close to the wild ponies. Wild ponies have inhabited Assateague Island for hundreds of years. They actually descended the horses that were either strayed, escaped, or deliberately released into the wild. Some have suggested that the wild ponies of Assateague Island, that to trace their origin of the Some have suggested that the wild ponies of Assateague can trace their origin to horses released to forage on the island by the earlier settlers.
However, evidence strongly suggests that these ponies were ancestors or descendants from the survivors of the Spanish galleon wrecked off the coast of Assateague.
On September 5th, 1750, a Spanish ship called La Galga, carrying a cargo of Spanish horses, ran aground near the Maryland and Virginia border. La Galga had been escorting a fleet of 6 other ships from Havana and Cuba to Cadiz, Spain, when they encountered a hurricane off the north coast of Florida. The disabled fleet was propelled by hurricane winds up the American coast. La Galga sat in shallow waters for almost 2 months while locals salvaged what they could. In early November, a winter storm came through and broke the gun deck loose, and the ship was sanded in.
I love that story. By the way, can ponies swim? Yes, they can. Ponies, like many mammals, can swim naturally without being taught. It sort of looks like a pony trotting in the water.
However, ponies aren't naturally water lovers. Some will enjoy the water and go right in, while others won't even put their hoof in a puddle.
Well, back to the book series Misty of Chincoteague. Misty of Chincoteague
was originally inspired by a real-life Chincoteague pony, also known as Assateague ponies. And, well, we'll stop here before I reveal the rest of the story. If you want to know the book, just read Misty of Chincoteague.
All right, thank you, kids. Now, Caleb. All right, I think we want to get the big horse head out of the... All right, and Abby's back again. She's feeding her addiction to recitals. All right, go ahead, Caleb. Thank you, Caleb. Next we have Maki on the violin, Meg on the piano with a concerto in G major by Haydn. Okay, as you're ready. All right, thank you, ladies, very, very much. Kieran. All right. Said we may have to get a bigger piano. All right. And he's going to play something I can't pronounce, so but we'll just let him play. So. before you duck out, Karen, come on back here for a second. This is your last recital, right?
Yes.
All right, so, and he's still alive. All right. You can always come back as a homeschooler emeritus, right, or something like that. All right, so we're going to end our program tonight with Meg playing the piano as well, with the Sonata in B-flat major, Kirkel number 333 for you sticklers on that, by Mozart. Meg, come on.
Thank you.